doing? My name is Dan Grummett, and this is Dan's Beginning Harmonica Lessons, and this is our second lesson in the series today. So hopefully you've got a chance to practice taps and Revelle. And as I promised, we will finish the rest of Revelle in this lesson today. So I'm going to throw a little wrench into this system today because, just as with taps, I felt it was better in the lower octave. I kind of feel like Revelle is going to be better in a higher octave. I mean, taps is meant to put you to sleep. It's really mellow. It's an easy song. Revelle is meant to wake you up. So it's supposed to be kind of lively. It's usually played on a trumpet or a bugle to wake people up in the military or in camp or so forth. So what do I mean by octave? I don't think I've talked about that too much. I'm going to switch this camera around for a second and show you the piano that I'm sitting at right now. Okay, so here is our piano. And now the C is right below these two black notes right here. And since we're in the key of C on our harmonica, we're going to look at an octave in the key of C. So that's going to begin with the C note. So if I go up these keys, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, you'll notice I end on another C. So even though technically there are 7 notes in a scale, to get an octave, we add that extra high C in there, so we get 8, and that's where octave comes from, the oct, like in octopus or octagon, right? It means 8. So we begin with the C, and we end on a C, and that's a full octave right there, from a lower C to a higher C. Now if I keep going, this higher C becomes now the root note of the next octave. So we keep going. Again, ending on a high C. So from this middle C to this high C is another octave that we play in. So that's how octaves are. So when I say we're playing a higher octave, I just mean we're going from like down here and playing a song here to moving up and playing it in the next octave of the key of C. So hopefully my phone doesn't act up again like it did last time. So that's what it means. So we're going to do Revelle in the higher octave than we did last lesson, excuse me. And this time we're going to start on the 6 below. And again, they're all blow notes. Alright, so just like we did last week, if you need to practice that in that higher octave, go ahead and you can pause it and do that. Meanwhile, I'm going to go into the second part. Second part is easy because all we're doing is repeating the first part and just changing the last line on there. So if you remember the way the lyrics were, kind of goofy lyrics we put in there. You gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up in the morning. Okay, we're gonna change. We're just gonna take up in the morning, and we're gonna say today. So you gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up in the morning. And then we repeat. You gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up today. And that's your 6 and 7 note, low note there to finish off the first 2 parts. So let's try playing both parts here, starting with the 6. So that's the first 2 parts. And you can work on, get a little faster Now to get the next part, and really this is the way the whole song is really meant to be played, is you want to get these kind of short spurts. Like again, it's meant to be played on a bugle, right? So these kind of quick, lively little spurts of air that you want to get into your harmonica. And the way we get the embouchure for that, the shaping and the sound from our mouth, is simply to make a ta sound. So ta, ta. Okay, keeping that harmonic, keeping your embouchure for your harmonica playing. Ta, ta, ta. Nice and sharp. Ta, ta. Okay. Now you do the same thing on the draw, but sometimes I like to think in the draw, maybe thinking more of a ta. It just has a more draw sound to it, I guess. So ta, ta, ta. So try mouthing these. Try mouthing the ta 4 times and the ta, and drawing the ta sound. So blow on the ta, draw on the ta, 4 of each. Ta, 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 ta. Now let's try that on the 6th hole on your harmonica. We'll try to do 4 blows with the ta sound. I think I did 6. That's okay though. Now we'll do 4 draws. 4 blows. Draws. Okay. Now we don't have to worry about the draws for Revelle. There are no draws. You do want to kind of get used to doing that ta sound and the ta sound and the draw, and getting that shape and that spurt of sound there. So let's try doing what we've already done on Revelle using the tas. Okay, starting again on the 6th hole. Okay, maybe I'll try it a little slower. Alright, now here's the part where that's going to get a little more tricky, is our 3rd part, because there's a lot of notes, very quick notes, but it's the same note over and over again. Most of them are going to be a whole section of playing that whole note just kind of fast. So how we do it, we're going to start on the 8th hole actually here, and well, let's try tawing it first, because there's no words for it. I can't give you lyrics really. So I'll show you how it kind of goes with those tas, okay? Ta 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 ta. So again, ta 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 ta. Okay, now let's try that on starting with the 8th hole. Here we go. I'll try a little slower. Okay. So let's try the whole thing. I'll try not to do it too fast. So you'll probably have a tendency to automatically kind of speed it up, but that's good because you want it to be kind of fast. It's meant to be a kind of fast song. So we'll start with the 6th blow and do the whole thing. little bit of a squeak there in my upper register. Haven't played this harmonica in a while, so this is my Hohner Golden Melody today. I usually play Lee Oscars. I thought I'd pull out my Golden Melody, probably my second favorite harmonica. So that's it. Practice it. Do it slow at first. Slowly get to where you can speed it up. So on vocalization, so you're going to want to try to get, if you're hearing that ta 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 through your harmonica, try to get to not vocalizing it, just using that structure of your mouth. We call it emitter. Start using that with that gust of air. So make like you're saying ta without actually saying it out loud into your harmonica. But if it takes a while to do that, that's fine. If you need to do the tas out loud for a while, go ahead. There's a lot of harmonica players that do vocalize through their harmonica as an effect. Sonny Terry, I recommend listening to some Sonny Terry because he does a lot of hooping and hopping, hooping and hollering into his harmonica as he's playing, and that's kind of one of his little things he does. And there's a song I highly recommend called Whammer Jammer if you want to hear some fantastic harmonica solo. It's by Magic Dick from Jay Giles Band. And he also does, you'll hear in that song, you'll hear him do a vocalization through his harmonica, and it's pretty cool the way he does it. But that's an effect. I'm not very good at it. I don't do it very often, but it can be done. So a little more about, we're going to go into now using the, doing vibratos and tremolos. And a lot of times these two get mixed up. But vibrato is where you play on the same note, but you add a kind of I want to say kind of a quiveriness to it. If you ever listen to opera singers and you hear when they do that Figaro, 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 that little thing they do at the end, that's a vibrato. Okay. You're playing one note, but you're kind of getting a little flutter in there. Okay, now when I do it, a lot of times I use my diaphragm, which is, some people use their throat. We're going to start with the easiest one, though, which is just using your hand. And this is the most common, and harmonica players do this a lot. So, again, holding your harmonica, and I've heard the way you hold a harmonica being compared to holding a sandwich, right? So you get your harmonica, put your right hand over the back of your harmonica, and when you play, you're just going to go. Kind of gives you that. It kind of reminds you of the cowboys back in the old days. The cowboys in the range, sitting around a campfire in the moonlight, and one of the cowboys pops out a harmonica out of his pocket and starts to play, and kind of nice and peaceful. And everybody's kind of laying around. The cows are all laying around, the horses, and kind of that peaceful, serene picture of that typical cowboy on the range. Anyway, so that's the easiest way to do vibrato, and a very common. But you don't want to just rely on that, so you want to use your other techniques as well. So the other technique a lot of people use is their throat. So I would do a sound like I kind of think of what was his name on the Bugs Bunny, the Elmer Fudd, right? You wascally wabbit. Okay, so that's what you're going to do into the harmonica. So we'll take a 6-hole here. Try it on a lower note. Try of doing a draw. A little bit harder on the draw, right? You probably noticed that. But you should be able to do both. So I think that maybe the ha 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 thing is maybe better on the blow, on the draw. And then and the way I like to get my vibrato a lot is I just use my diaphragm. So it's just like that opera singer. You're just shaking that. You're feeling it in your diaphragm. Have you ever seen the cartoons where the opera singer hits that high note and you see the Adam's apple going up and down? Oh, oh. Right. Well, obviously it's not really coming from your Adam's apple. It's coming from your throat. So, so that's one way. Another way to get the vibrato. Some people use the tongue, kind of tongue flutter technique. You're just you're moving your tongue back and forth, but you're not putting it in the front of your mouth. You're not putting it up against your harmonica. You're keeping it kind of in the back of your mouth, behind your teeth, and just kind of doing a flutter with it. It just takes practice. Your tongue is kind of doing this kind of thing, maybe going back and forth a little bit. Kind of play with your tongue a little bit. Make sure to keep it towards the back of the mouth. And try do some fluttering with it, and you'll get it eventually. It's kind of harder to explain than to do, honestly. But once you play around with it, you'll get it. And then again, the diaphragm is the one I was just starting to talk about, and that's just again, it's kind of like that opera singer. Oh, kind of right here. Oh. So those are the three main. You can a lot of times you can also use your jaw. Just up and down real fast. And you'll notice your harmonic's going to want to wiggle when you do this. Another method, of course, that's going to get your jaw pretty tired. You don't want to do that too often, but for different things you can do to get effect into your playing. Okay, so that's the vibrato. Now the tremolo is when you're going back and forth real quickly between two or three notes. All right, it could be two or three. So we can take again with your 6-hole. And the easiest way to do it, I mean, there's lots of ways of doing this with bends, where you bend notes back and forth real fast. But we're not there yet. So we're going to do the simplest way, which is simply to move your harmonica back and forth quickly between two or three notes. So let's take our 6 blow and just let the harmonica go back and forth between the 6 and the 7, or the 6 and the 5. Same thing, drawing. Your lips kind of stay on there. You can kind of let your harmonica just kind of do all the motion. And you're focusing still, like here I'd be focusing on the 6th blow. Okay, that's the note you're getting. The other ones are just effect. So you don't want to stay on, you won't want to stay on those too long. Just enough to get that little. You can hear my dog singing in the background here. I'm going to pause this a minute. All right, I have my The little dog likes to he likes to sing with me. He likes to howl every time I play the harmonica, so I had to go put him in my room for a minute. So anyway, that's your vibrato and your tremolo. So I would go through now with some chords. So here is, so we're going to talk about what is a chord first of all. A chord is your, there's going to be usually three notes. Now we're going to cheat a little bit because you can't always get those three notes easily on a harmonica, but you can get two of your three main chords for the song in here. So in most popular songs, there's three main chords. Now there's other chords that can be played, but there's kind of three main chords that make up the progression, the chord progression for that song. So when we look at chord progressions, I'm going to put a little chart up here to kind of show you what that means. Your 1 chord, your 4 chord, and your 5 chord. Those are what we're going to worry about today. And you can play a lot of songs if you just know that 1 chord and the 4 chord and the 5 chord. Now what does that mean? Well, the 1 chord is whatever key it's in. So we're playing in the key of C on our C harmonica. So that would make C your 1 chord. So if you want to find your 5 chord, you're just going to go up C, D, E, F, G. That's your 5 chord. And your 4 chord, C, D, E, F. All right, so those are your three chords you're going to use if you're playing a song in the key of C. Those are going to be your main chords. So the C chord is very easy on a C harmonica. So if your harmonica is tuned to the key of C, if it has a C on it, your 1 chord is your C chord. If you have a D harmonica, the 1 chord will be the D. If it's an A, it's going to be an A. Whatever key the harmonica's in, that's your 1 chord. Or I should say whatever key you're playing in the harmonica. And we're doing C. You're going to find out a little later that you can actually play in the key of G on a C harmonica. We call that second position or cross-harp, and we're actually going to do a little bit of that later on. But for now, let's just look at playing it in the first position in the key of C. So your 1 chord is your C, and the diatonic harmonicas make it very easy to get your 1 chord because all your blow notes make up that 1 chord, and if it's a C harmonica, that's the C. So hole 1 is C, hole 2 is E, and hole 3 is G, blow, if you blow them. All right, so if you blow all three of those notes together, you're going to get the chord of C. You're going to get the chord of C, which is C, E, and G. Those notes make up that chord. So it's the first, we can get more into the theory later, but basically when you're doing a chord, you're doing the first, third, and fifth of the scale. Okay, so on the C, D, E, F, G. Your first is your C, your third is your E, and your fifth is your G, and that makes up 3 notes of the chord itself. So on the C chord, very easy. You just blow the lower 3 notes. That's your C chord. And like I say, anywhere I blow on this harmonica, I'm blowing a C chord. Any 3 notes that I blow is a C chord. Even if I had a 4th hole or 5th hole, there's still notes within the C chord. Because again, it's just a repeat. Your blow is just a repeat of C, E, and G over and over until you get to the 10 hole. So but we're going to work on just the bottom 3. So blow your bottom 3 notes and get your C chord. Let's do it again. One more time. Okay, now your 5 chord, which is your G, is just as easy. On the same 3 holes, 1, 2, and 3, you're going to draw those 3 holes at the same time. So let's do that 4 times. There's your G. So let's go 4 C, 4 G. Ready? 1 through 3 blow. Whole 1 through 3 draw for your G. So there's your C and G. Very easy, right? Those are the 2 of the 3 chords. Now your third one, your 4 chord, in this case, is going to be the hardest, only because you don't really have a full, easy to get 3 notes in a row like that to make up that chord. But you do have 2. So what we're going to do is you're going to go to the 6 and 7 blow. I'm sorry, 6 and 7 draw. Okay. Draw on the 6 and 7 4 times. 6 and 7 draw to get our partial F chord. Ready? Okay. Try to think of these. Try to learn these chords by their letter instead of just by hole 1, hole 2, and so forth. I'm just letting you know now. So if I say play a C chord, you already know that hole 1 through 3 blow is your C chord. And if I say a G chord, you already know your holes 1 through 3 draw is going to be your G. Okay, and then if I say F, you're going to go right to your 6 and 7 draw. There's your chord. So let's go in a row. We'll do C, G, F, C, G, F. Ready? There you go. Those are your 3 main chords, and yes, we know that the F is not a full chord, but we're cheating. We're going to cheat even more when we do the cross-harp and get into G, in the key of G. So I've got a song we're going to do here. We're going to play to. And I'm going to put your tabs up here. So it's going to be, let me get it on here. So it's going to be your 1 chord, your C. And we're going to stay on that. What we're doing here is called the 12-bar blues. I'm calling it a 12-bar rock this time because the music we're going to be using is more rock than blues, and it's counted differently, and I'll get into that later. But it's 12 bars, so we say 4 bars on the C. That means 16 counts, right? 4 for each, 4 counts per bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 2 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 bar, and so forth. So the first part is 4 bars with all C chord. So it's going to be like. Okay. So there's your first 4 bars of your 12-bar blues. Then we're going to go 2 bars. That's 8 counts. 2 bars on your G. A bar, by the way, is just another word for a measure. Okay, if you're more technical, it's called a measure, but they always call it a bar when we're talking about the 12-bar blues. So the G, again, we're going to go with the G for 2 bars. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go back and do another 2 bars back to the C again, which is again your blow on your 1 through 3. Okay, now it gets a little trickier because you're going to just do 1 bar of your F, and then you're going to go right to 1 bar of your G. So you're going to just do 4 counts of F and 4 counts of G here, right? So we'll go into the F. Again, your 5 and 6 draw. We're just going to do 4. That's it. Let's try that again. And you're going to immediately go back to the G again, which is your 1 through 3 draw again. Again, just for 1 bar, just for 4 counts. And then we're going to do 2 bars, or 8 counts, back to the C. And voila, there's your 12 bars, right? Now, a lot of times, since these are repeated, they'll do this they'll go to the G at the end. They'll do a bar of the C and a bar of the G, so that it can lead back into the beginning when we go back to the C again. It just makes it a little bit less monotonous, but for right now we're not going to worry about that. And then they'll still end on that C at the end of the song. They'll still resolve everything on that C. But until they get to the end of the song, they'll do that final bar of C's will end up actually be like a G. But we're just going to do it with the C's for our exercises today. So again, let's try it without the music real quick. Just follow me, and then I'm going to put some music on. So here we go again, starting with the C. And I'm just going to give you the chord name. So if you need to pause this and learn how to do these chords so you know them by name, go ahead, because I'm just going to give you the chord name. I'm not going to keep saying hole 1 through 3, blow or draw. So we start on the C. G. C. And then quickly to the F. G. And ending on that C for 2 bars. Okay, so we've just played the 12-bar blues. Again, we're going to do it kind of more in a rock rhythm this time around. Now, what we're gonna do, let's try it like that. Let's just try it like that. So just follow me. All I'm gonna do is call the chord to you. Okay, so listen for the chord changes, and here we go. Now what I'm gonna suggest is during that intro, and there's an intro on this, and then there's an ending. There's an intro, then it's going to go into that 12 bars, and then there's going to be an ending. So on the intro, what you can do is just hold your chord. You can either just hold on to the C, or you can go from the C to the G and back. Don't even worry about the F for the intro or the ending. Okay, just use your C and your G because it's easier. Just going to blow and draw, blow and draw. So start with your draw. No, let me start with your blow. We're in the key of C. Start with your blow. And you can kind of hold your G. And it doesn't matter how you do it. It's just you're just kind of holding that chord to give a little background into that intro, and then I'm going to kind of fill you in when it's time to let you know when it's time to get ready to start the 12 bars. Okay, so here we go. Go. G. Another way we can do this, so you don't have to do quite so many blows on it, is we can just blow on the 2 and the 4. Okay, so it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and then go into the G, same thing, 1, 2. I can't say the 2 and the 4s of my harmonica. When you hear the harmonica, that's the 2 and the 4. So 1, 3, 1, 3, and then to the C again, and so forth. Okay, so if you want to do, so let's try doing, we're basically doing every other note is going to be on the C. So let's try it like that, and just kind of listen what I'm doing. So again, during the intro, during the exit, just blow, just hold your chords. However feels good to you. Okay, so here we go again. Here we go, C. 1. Go to G. Go to C. To the F. G. C. Back to C. F, G, C. Okay, good. So you can play around with that. You can double up. For instance, on the 2 and on the 2s, so that you can kind of get that 1, 3, 1, 3, 4, right? And the same thing with the G, 1, 2, excuse me, 1, 3, 1, 3. See what I'm saying? So double up on the 2 and then just play the single on the 4. You can try that as well. So let's go ahead and go on to our second position playing, which we also is referred to as cross-harp. And we're doing this simple because we're not going to do any bends or anything. So you're playing it the same way, but you're going to start on your draw now. So your 1 chord is now going to be the 1 through 3 again, draw. Remember, we did the G before, but it was the 5 chord. Now it's going to be the 1 chord. So you're going to start with your G. Oops. Okay. And then we're going to do a D. Now, we don't really have anything close to the D chord that we can easily get to. So we're going to really cheat on this one. We're just going to play one note. We're going to play the 1 draw. That's it. Just the 1 draw is going to be our D. And we're going to pretend that it's a D chord because it's not. But we're going to just pretend for the sake of this exercise that we're playing a D chord. So, yeah, the 1 draw. And then we're going to go back to the G again. Yeah, that 1 through 3 draw. And then we're going to use the C again, the 3 blow, that 1 through 3 blow. So we're kind of playing two of the 3 chords are the same, and then the other one is just a one draw, all right, on the 1 hole. So this is actually, I think, easier than the C song. And we're going to do this in a blues count. This is the 12-bar blues in the blues count in the key of G on our C harmonica. So we are playing cross-harp, all right, which is what a lot of blues, most blues is played in cross-harp. So we're going to do this. It's the same It's the same progression. Okay, it's just that as far as it's still going to be the 1, we're still going to go to the 1s, the G, or we're going to have G, A, B, C, D. So the 5 chord now is the D, and the 4 chord is the C, and the 1 chord is the G. So that's where it's different. Okay, but we're going to use the same 12-bar blues format. So we're still going to do the 4 measures of G, 2 measures of D, 2 measures of G, 1 measure C, 1 measure D, and then 2 more measures on the G. So the same format on that. So again, let's try going through the progression, and I'm just going to call out again the name of the chord. So if you need to pause it and learn your G, 1 through 3 draw, your D, 1 draw, and your C, the 1 through 3 bow. All right, pretty easy. So our progression we're going to start on the G, and we're just going to count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 measures simply means there's 4 counts per measure, or bar, as sometimes we're referring to it in this case. 4 counts to a bar. 4 bars is 16 counts. So we're going to do that with the G. Now, one thing you're going to realize is you're going to run out of breath if you don't take some breaths. So remember to breathe between bars, right? And then we're going to go with the D, 2 bars. So we're going back to the G again for 2 bars. One bar, 4 counts only of the C. 4 counts, 1 bar of D again, the 1 draw. And then we end again with the 2 bars of the C. Of the G, excuse me, G. Okay. And then we start over. We're going to do it twice through. So when you get to the end of that G, just like we did with the other one, we're going to start over. So we're going to go through it twice. So there's going to be a lot of G notes, right? A lot of G chords. Because you're going to do that 2 bars at the end, and then you're going back and doing 4 bars at the beginning, and so you can kind of see why they would often change that last bar until the end. But here we go. Just follow me, and again on the intro and on the ending, just blow a chord, and this time start with your G. So instead of blowing and drawing, you're going to draw and blow when you do that. Here we go. Oops, no, hold on, wrong one. Here it is. Notice the difference on the counting on the blues. When we count in a rock beat, we're counting kind of like I'm also a drummer, and when you're counting when you're doing the drums, you count an eighth note, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's kind of the beat to a standard rock beat or rock rhythm. Blues and jazz and bluegrass and a lot of rootsy music, you count more like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you listen to this, you're going to hear that. Okay, because this is more of a blues rhythm here. So here we go. missed the end of the intro there. We're going to start over again here. Here we go. Explain what I'm doing there in case you haven't caught on. To make it sound more bluesy and to fit more, the way I told you to count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I'm playing it. Okay, I'm just following that same rhythm on the harmonica. See, you can do kind of that taw thing if you want to, kind of that. I'm going to give you a different word to kind of use instead of the ta. Try a ka, okay? Because what we're going to be doing later is called a chugging. Okay, chugging is you're going to like a cuss in there. And we're not really doing that too much here. But since that's something we will be learning, if you want to start using a ka sound on these chords to get that nice rhythm, because that's what we're kind of doing now. We're doing a rhythm. We're playing we're kind of doing the rhythm section thing here. We're not playing a melody. We're playing a background rhythm. And that's what we're going to do with the chugs as well. So here we go. Let's try this again. So just do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all the way through. So here we go. Right now. D. G. C. D. G. D. G. Back again. Alright, so that's kind of one way to play that rhythm, just to follow the same 1, 2, 3 that we were doing there. You can also again do it just on the 2 and the 4. So 1, 3, 1, 3, like that. And then you can breathe a little more, because you notice a lot of draws, you might get a little out of breath. So just make sure you take those breaths when you need them. And I may mean replacing one of the notes with a breath. And if you have to do that, go ahead. That's fine. You'll learn to get that breath control as you go. So that's what we're doing there. Let's try this as a chug. Let's try it on just the 2 and the 4, making that ka sound. Okay. G, C, D, G, there you go. Now see, you can do these types of songs. I'm gonna leave the instrumentals at the end of the lesson. I'm gonna include just the instrumentals of these two backtracks. Okay, and these are backtracks. They're just right off the rhythm on my keyboard with me adding some piano to it. Simple stuff. So you can practice on your own and kind of get, you can play with it too and kind of find different ways of chugging it. So again, sometimes you can do that on the 2 in the and. I did 2 in the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. You can do that as well through the whole song. So the only thing I'm going to kind of add on here is I want to teach you a few more quick things. And one of them is the last thing I want to teach you for today is how to do the train sounds on your harmonica. This is important. Harmonica players have to be able to do the train, right? So I'm going to use the method that Adam Gusso teaches. Adam Gusso is a fantastic harmonica player and teacher, and he has a lot of YouTube videos, so keep an eye out for Adam Gusso. And this is the technique he uses, and this was kind of new to me. I've done the train a lot, but I do it different ways, but I kind of like this little method he uses, and it's real simple and yet it's very effective. And you just have to remember two very strange words: naka, taka. Naka, taka. Okay, remember those words. Now what we're going to do, when we do the train sounds, we're going to be playing in that cross-harp, that second position. So we're going to start with the draw. We're going to start with the G, the 1 through 3 hole draw for the naka. And then we're going to do the C, the blow 1 through 3 for the taka. Okay, and this is how we can get that train sound. You'll hear it right now. So we're going to just stick with these two chords for now. Start with the draw on the 3 for naka, blow on the taka. Here we go. Try it again. Now we're going to speed it up, and you take your time. Take your time. You can work on it after this lesson. Work on that naka taka until you can get it real fast, like a train, or it sounds like a train. Don't worry if you get tongue-tied a little bit on that. It's going to happen. Happens to me even sometimes. But just try again that. And work on it until you can get kind of fast, until it sounds like a train. And of course, with the train, you have to have the train whistle, right? So we're going to do a kind of wah, wah on your 2. Try it on your like 2 through 3 hole there. I kind of like to think of it, maybe you're drawing. Again, you're drawing. You do a lot of drawing on these things. They're second position. So I kind of think more as like what, wah, what, wah. And don't do it too fast, then you're not going to sound like a train enough, but do it kind of. Now you can also get a good train whistle using bends, but again, that's a later technique. So for now, so we could do, let's do the naka taka. And then when I put my hand out like this, we're going to do a train whistle. So ready? When you do the wah, try to put a little lift in there. Wow, wow. Try this one too. Wow, 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 wow. because you want to get that little bendy sound in there. So however you want to do it, just a wah wah or a what wah. But it's not a what, it's a what wah. So it's not a real quick burst like when we're doing the tas, right? You wanna hold it out a little bit more. Alright, train whistle's not fast. It's not what. It's a like that. So let's I'm gonna throw a different rhythm at you right now. And we're just gonna do nakataka nakataka with that train whistle, and I'll put my hand out when I want you to do the train whistle. So here we go. And he's going to count it out for us.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Whistle. Try to get that wow well in there too. Wow wow. Alright. So that's going to be the lesson for today. So I'm going to finish this lesson, and I'm going to and we'll do the nakatakas. I want you to do your nakatakas, and you can throw your train whistles in whenever you want to. I'm going to kind of just jam with this, okay, and just have fun with it, and then you're going to jam with me by doing your nakatakas. And if you want to just throw a few chords in there, you can, whatever you want to do, and we're going to have a little fun with this to end the lesson.
1, 2, 3, 4.
see you next week for the next lesson. Keep practicing, get your chords down, get your train size down, understand progressions a little bit on your C and your G for now, and you can practice Revelle. And meanwhile, I will end the lesson here, but I'm going to go ahead and play these instrumentals for you. Going back to the first one. So this is going to be the 12-bar rock in the key of C. So you're going to start on your C blow here and follow the tabs on these chords. And just practice as many times as you want to. You're going to do both of these first ones through twice. Okay? So here we go. Okay, good. Now this is going to be the 12-bar blues in the key of G. So you're going to start on your 1 through 3 draw. You're playing in second position, also known as cross-harp. Here we go. Okay, and then finally, we're going to go ahead with the with that bluegrass jam track in G. And I want to give proper credit to this song. This was off the YouTube actually, from Tom Strahle, and that's spelled S-T-R-A-H-L-E, and he created this as a background for his mandolin lessons, but we're using it for our harmonica. So here is bluegrass and G jam, and mainly what you want to do here for now, we're going to get into this again next week, but next lesson. But right now, I want you to just do your nakatakas and your train whistles. So here it is.
1, 2, 3, 4.
it's a loop, so it just keeps going and going. All right. Have fun with it. Listen to them. Listen to those as many times as you need to get your practice. See you next time.